interesting thing is that obviously whoever made the, got all the things that they could talk about in St. John and said, let's highlight that piece of history, it's so interesting. So one of the reasons that was picked out, I'm sure, is because of the kind of traveler that this byway is going to get. They don't want to just pass through and say, well, that's a nice little town. What's here? What's distinctive? What's unusual? And so I think that's probably why it was picked out, and I read it and went, I want to see this. And then I thought, well, I'll bet the library can tell me. But of course, it was a weekend, I couldn't get it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking they might want to let people in the community know, hey, we're highlighting that cemetery, so you might do something about that, so that if somebody comes to town, that somebody in town actually knows something about it.
Yeah. Well, we got one so far. We'll see if we can build from here.
Well, your other attraction here, I've always noticed, is the little Statue of Liberty on the corner.
Yeah, it doesn't mention anything about our square, I noticed.
It doesn't?
Well, maybe it does.
I think it does.
Yeah, there's a little.
Because I was headed to the square. I was disappointed that there weren't more things open, but I could sort of envision how beautiful the square would be in the summer.
Do you guys still have the tea over here, the Victorian tea, every year?
Yeah.
That's another thing that, I came over and photographed that one year.
You picked
That's
a
a
poor
really
weekend to come.
It's what?
You picked a poor weekend to come, everybody's going to State Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
exactly.
why, yeah.
Well, and the thing I noticed is we don't have the luxury of living on Highway 50, so when people come here, it's been very deliberate, the reason that they're here. They've made an effort to come here. Not just because they're passing through on Highway 50, but,
They got something that said this is a good place to be.
so we really have to work as a community to keep those restaurants we have and bring in a new one.
And not to put you guys down here in St. John, but they're not coming up here to get gas at the shortstop.
Right, and hopefully, I think that's cheap.
I don't know if the owner's here, but.
No.
Canada owns it now.
Oh, really? They keep the gas jacked up. pretty
Oh,
good.
they won't tell you that. They won't tell you that if you're the press and you call them, though.
Well, she got a Kansas shirt on this morning.
Does he? Yeah, I've been
Janet,
fighting
how
with
big
them.
are the panels? I've never.
They're
figured that
24 by 36.
24 by 36, so they are big.
Yeah.
Church on the hill in the county courthouse.
So, and you hope that they'll be up before the,
The base should be, have they laid the base here?
They've
Wow.
sent some of them.
And they're discounted.
the ones in the courthouse. They haven't done.
Okay.
Yeah, they sent some.
It's right up there, it's on
In the
fence,
courthouse?
but they
I was
got
gonna
it
say,
on
I
top
thought they
of,
laid the cement foundation, because they wanted to get that set before they put.
Leora
the panels on.
Francis's house instead of.
So now there is a festival, the last weekend of next month,
Two weeks.
right?
Springs and.
But there's like 2 or 3.
Right, and this birding festival happens every other year. And this is the year that it is wings and wetlands, right? And this is the year that it's happening.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I would say is that, if you wanted to talk right now about the community and getting the community involved, one of the really wonderful things that you could do next month is to get people who are community influencers, or community people to say, come get on some of these buses and go for early morning or late night tours out onto the wetlands. And you'll see two things. First of all, you'll see who the birders are and what they're like. And secondly, you'll get an appreciation for the asset. Hear what they talk about, right? Just figure it would be a really wonderful way to tag into, and it's once every other year. So it's the last weekend of next.
April 24th.
Do we have any flyers on that with us?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Our big celebration is the end of May.
Okay,
Memorial.
right.
The courthouse is right.
So this'll,
Bike across Kansas is going to be here soon.
It is?
Corners of Third and Broadway.
Terry, when's the
Is
bike
Blake-
across Kansas going to be here?
June.
And
That's
they
one
shop
thing
here?
I'd like to see us do is, we're only 16 miles off the Trans-America route from Billings, Montana to Virginia. I wish we could figure out some way to bend that traffic down through here and stuff, but honestly Hudson would do better with that than us.
Right, but I would tell you as, you know, a bicyclist, 16 miles is nothing if it's something extraordinary. Now,
I'm
We
a
went to-
bicyclist, 16
we went to
miles
Sunday
is a long
lunch in
damn
Hudson
ways.
yesterday.
Did you go to the fly?
It was great.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I want to argue that point with you. I'm a bicyclist. 16 miles is a long ways.
Okay,
16.
well,
I can't even get him. I can't even get him to detour off to go to Great Bend for parts when it's only 8 miles. So yeah, if you're going from
Are
coast
you
to
the
coast,
bicycle guy in Great Britain?
yeah.
Oh, you are?
No, I know them well, but
Okay.
yeah, I biked since I was yay big. But 16 miles is a long ways to try to get him to come off. I mean, that's an hour and a half.
But people will travel 60 miles by any conveyance.
Yeah, if we
there's
could
something
do a
special.
bike-friendly community here and try to work that in with the byways and stuff, it would be nice. But like say, unfortunately, like St. John's the wrong area. Hudson and Stafford, I think.
When
would
I
be
was
a lot
on those,
better.
when I was on the marsh runs, you know, I thought, oh, wouldn't this be fun on a bike? You
Yeah.
know, because you could hear everything, you could smell it, and it's great.
Janet, another opportunity in Great Bend is the canoeing on the Arkansas River going east. I've canoed that many times.
I know a lot of the people that bike have a lot of bike trails
Mhm.
down on our Kansas riverbed too.
Yeah.
Now, the people I'm talking about would love that. Right? They won't have their own canoe, but if you could rent them a canoe
Mhm.
and put them in and go pick them up later and bring them back, they would love the experience, they have the ability to pay for it, they expect quality, they expect good information, they expect to be taken care of. But, right,
Yeah, Great Bend,
They'll
to Elm would
appreciate
be
it
a good
and-
day trip. Great Bend to the Dartmouth Bridge would be a little 3-hour float.
it'd be great. Do you have enough water for that?
Well, lately, the last couple of years, it's been pretty good.
Okay.
Sometimes in the spring, it's too much water, it's a scary ride.
Yeah. Nice. See, that's actually, so you're getting the idea of, you know, what these travelers are like. They want to see the birds, they want to get in a canoe, they'd rent a bike, right? They want to experience it, they want to really immerse themselves here, not just pass through. Oh, that was a cute little town. And they've got time to stay. So the more you can put those three sleep slices together day after day after day, right?
But
It starts working.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
In tourism is your forte. We had speakers here several times, and he talked about, as far as Asia, coming just to see an American farm. What can you tell us about that? That's very doable here.
Right. So there are, when people come to see a farm, they'll probably come in groups as opposed to with individuals. And the way you get at those groups is to usually work through the state tourism office and say that you're interested in hosting groups of people that want to visit farms. And they're the ones that have access to the industry that can get them here.
And that would be a good county effort, not just individual
Would be a
cities.
wonderful county effort.
You know, the accommodations here aren't the greatest. There's a little motel on Old 50, but they're great in Stafford with the bed and breakfast. They come to stay, they have breakfast, they go out and tour, they come here, they have lunch. You know, there's things to do here too.
Yep.
And it's, you know,
So one of the things that you know, when you work together as a community is you got to figure out, first of all, how to have people value it and understand what's here. The farms, the birds, right? The wildlife. And then you have to figure, as you also asked, how you market it. And then you figure out what marketing entities are already in place. And then which other ones can you reach for. And there's always, for a good tourism experience, there's always marketing help. Because everybody's looking for a rich, distinctive experience that people haven't had other places. So you start putting those elements together that have to do with bike, canoe, birds.
I think key first collaboration.
Yeah, you got it, exactly. Couldn't say it any better, collaboration's it.
And the byway is a regional tourism effort. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Kansas Wetland Education Center up on 156 Highway. The grand opening for the center is April 24th, which is a Friday. It's the opening day of the birding festival, the Wings and Wetland. And, you know, that's one of the things we're trying to showcase, both wetlands, and that's what everybody who comes, who is a birder, they cannot believe the difference between the wetlands. You have Quivira, which is the salt marsh, you've got all the sand dunes, you go up to Quivira, which is a totally different habitat, and we've got the new educational center opening. And so we need to be able to, you know, I'd say cross-marketing is one of the biggest efforts everybody's going to have to do. Instead of saying, oh, we're going to lose them to Great Bend, but you've got to be able to get them to both ends of the wetlands.
And the thing that I will tell people in Great Bend, which actually I already have a couple of months ago when I talked to the city of Great Bend, is that they've got all the 3-3 sleep, but they don't have what our folks are looking for in terms of this kind of activity, which is a really extraordinary experience, right, with something that they value deeply. So Great Bend needs you and what you've got as much as you need them. And because they have more of the 7 slices in place, right now they have the ability to hold a traveler and send them in and out of your place. As you reconfigure, you can get to the point where it's much more equal in terms of the profitability of it. Right now, you're holding the cards on all these to-dos, and they're holding the cards on the food and sleep. That could be shifted, then built over time.
We have a thing in place. I attended 3.5 months of training last year called the Golden Belt Foundation
Right.
Leadership Program. That's 4-county concept. Barton, Rush, Pawnee, and Stafford. And we put together a video with the assistance of the graphic department at Barton County Community College. But that's as far as it's gone. You know, it's a good concept, but no one's carrying it through.
Yeah. And these ideas can fizzle, right? They can fizzle unless you get it together, get some people to say, let's make an objective that 3 years from now, we're going to have these things in place. Or 2 years from now, when the bird festival comes again, that we're going to be a real player, right? We're going to have dealt with the committee, we're going to say, we want a breakfast in St. John after the morning birding buses go out, right? Just start building, what can you do? How can you start being visible, right? What part of this whole infrastructure can we do, right? If the cemetery is intriguing to people, what could we do in town to either make signs to it or make an interpretive panel or help people connect with it? Because really, the kind of traveler we're talking about wants to connect with the birds, and they want to connect with you, right? They want to connect. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. These are, anybody interested in these trends? This is for all tourism, not just nature-based travelers. Curious, I'm going to put a few extra for that one.
received the FEMA grant of 206. And then in the paper the other day, Roberts sent out a list that 5 communities in the state of Kansas received some monies, and the St. John District #1 received $196,330. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, that's the federal, that's what the federal government's share is, I mean, with our 5%, and that makes it total.
Because it didn't say FEMA or anything, it's
Yeah.
for fire protection, and so I added up, and man, we're gonna get $402,993.
Yeah.
So, so it's really 196.
Yeah, that's the federal share.
Okay.
So, and I've talked to the guy, I think they're already on his Fairfax purchase for that. And he's supposed to be bringing some demos down next time he comes through. So, and I've talked to the people from FEMA, you know, since this is the first time I've gone through this, talked to them about the process and everything. So, that's all.
And make certain you have receipts and all the T's are crossed and
Yes.
I's are dotted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, on those, got that stuff, like I say, it's in process. Mitigation plan, I got to go upstairs, talk to Carl, he was gone last week. There's a few things on there that I need to get from him, and the questionnaire will be done, get that sent in, and we'll be ready for the next step. So, and also, on the emergency management side, the regional coordinator for the South Central region, he was the one that brought out the paperwork and stuff on those 800 radios and everything. And in talking to him, he made the comment that if we wanted him to come out and kind of explain, you know, where Homeland Security is going, you know, how we can get more involved in it right now. He said he'd be more than happy to come out and talk to you guys, but one of the commission meetings or whatever. And he's kind of, you know, because he can explain it a whole lot better than I can, but, you know, kind of give us an idea of where we should be looking at going, you know, and kind of how we can get more involved. And, because like I say, they're getting a lot of this money and stuff that's available to the counties. And, I mean, that would just make things, you know, make it a lot easier for us if we're, you know, up to date on everything, so,
I think it'd be time well spent, don't you think?
yeah. So, I mean, just in talking to him, I learned a lot, just in a short time I talked to him on the phone, so. But, so he's more than happy to come out and visit with us. Point us in the right direction, or, you know, give us some information, so.
I think I'm gonna set it up, get it on the schedule.
Back in touch with you and see when we can do the time for him to come out. So, I also, signed up for some training, it's gonna be May the 11th to the 15th. It's firefighter instructor, training, so.
Where's that at?
It's gonna be at Winfield, it's the closest one I can find. There's, I don't know a lot more details yet as far as, you know, where I'm gonna be able to stay or whatever, but, I'll do some checking into that and see, where that's at. The cost of the class is free because we're a member of the Kansas Firefighter Association, so there will be no cost for tuition or anything, it'll just be basically lodging or meal or whatever. But, that gets closer, I'll check into that and see what we can do, as far as that.
Have you set up any training for the old house?
Yes, we've already done.
You're done with it?
No, we're not done. We were trained in there last Tuesday, and I'm gonna try to do like the Saturday, like an all-day deal. See if I can get some more people in there.
So I think Phil's got it on schedule for end of the month, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, that's what he said, so.
Of course, it'd be nice to have somebody in there who's to do the real thing. recess.